Well, welcome everybody, familiar faces. Obviously, from my standpoint, getting to talk to a lot of you over the course of the summer and asking a lot of questions about the soccer program. We just really come out of 16 days of preseason, which is, probably the quickest preseason of any sport around the country. We've got to get a lot done in a short period of time. I think we've done that. One of the things that we wanted to try to accomplish really this year as a program, it's funny, I heard it on the radio the other day and they were referring to a television sitcom, which was Mad Men. And there's a famous statement, if you don't like what they're saying, then change the conversation. And so, my past 2 years here were about trying to develop a program, but really changing the conversation about what this program will be, what it can be, and what I think lays ahead for the future, and we're excited. Just in terms of what we've seen in preseason, the work that our lone senior has put in, who has been a dedicated and loyal student athlete to this program, and really just the vibe that we have within the young ladies, young women who are here to represent us. And so it's an exciting time for us. There's just so many things going on in terms of just kind of rebranding and refocusing and really making us what I believe where we need to be if we're going to be competing for championships. You got to be relevant on your own campus, and that's really what we've tried to do this summer in our workouts and our preseason planning and our marketing strategy. It's just been an all across the board. Let's change the conversation about women's soccer, and I think that's where we are today. And here we are getting ready for South Alabama in 2 days. So the season is upon us.
Questions? Coach, 3 juniors, 1 senior.
Mm-hmm.
And, as any time you have any kind of coaching change, you have a lot of turnover.
Right.
You finally reach year 3. Does it finally feel like you're finally getting your field and your identity with this team?
Without question. Without question. Yeah, there is a lot of turnover, and you look anywhere, and I don't care what sport it is, when a new coach comes in, he or she tries to set standards and expectations with a shared core value system. And, that's not getting rid of kids. That's just like setting the bar, and hopefully all the ones who are there, they jump over the bar, or hopefully they say, is that as high as you got, coach? I mean, that would be the ultimate for me when I got here. That wasn't always the case. I mean, this young woman next to me, I would say is that as high you can put it? Because she constantly wanted to jump over it, constantly wanted to question, constantly said, well, I'm here. That's why I signed up for. So that's, Shelby's made it through as the lone senior. But I think she would attest, the freshmen and sophomores here are looking at her like, come on, Shelby, you can get over this bar. It's a new time here, and that's what's exciting. We're still awfully young. You can't have experience without getting experience. And so we're going to go through that. But in terms of a team that I feel that we can put on the field that can go nose to nose, toe to toe, athlete to athlete, I feel like we're pretty much there, which is a much better feeling of we're going to be in a lot more games. We're going to compete in a lot more games, which means we're going to win a lot more games. So we don't have any history that says that. All I have is my history as a coach of knowing what it takes to compete at this level. So.
I guess my question would be for Shelby. You're the Lone Ranger, I guess, so to speak, as an only senior. What made you make the decision that, hey, I'm going to stick this out with this new coaching staff, and I want to be a part of it?
Whenever they brought him in, I knew it was going to change a lot, but I knew that they were going to bring great things whenever they came in, because there was some changes or some things that needed to be changed whenever I came in. But when Andy and Neil brought me in as a freshman, I signed a contract for 4 years, and I was totally committed to seeing that out. It didn't matter how hard it got and whoever they brought in, and I've had a bunch of different people come in, but, I've always loved it here. I've always loved our soccer team, even though, some people may doubt it, but I love that crest and I love this school. And so whenever they came in, it was just, like I said, I signed a contract for 4 years and I was sticking to it.
there ever been a point at any time in the 4 years where you kind of settle on and thought, maybe I should have did something different?
No. There was definitely some times where it gets hard, and you have to talk to a lot of people, and you have to just kind of refocus your mind on focusing on the soccer standpoint of it, and getting through like all the changes and everything that they brought in. But definitely sitting where I am now, like I'm glad I stayed, because you can see all the changes that they brought in, and all the girls that we have now is great. And like for me sitting here from 4 years ago, I can see how everything is different and how everything is so much better. But yeah, there was definitely hard moments, but there was never a day where I was like, I feel like I should have been somewhere else. So
where do you feel like this got to last year? You've kind of seen the trajectory of this program the last 4 years and things. After this season, when your career here is ended and things, where do you see this program headed?
Oh, I get jealous because I know that they're going to do great once I leave, and I wish that I would have been here, when the freshmen and the sophomores that came in now, because they're going to have a great 2 to 3 more years, and they're really just getting started to me like this year, because they've brought in so many good players. But yeah, I think that they're going to do really well once I'm done. And that kind of makes me jealous, I wish I could be here with them, but yeah, I think they'll do awesome.
We're trying to figure out if we can get a 5th year for Shelby. I haven't quite worked that out with Bracky Brett. We'll see if we can make that happen.
What's it meant for you, Coach, to have her to stick it out with you all the way to the end?
Well, I mean, with Shelby, just when you build a team, it's a team that has to have a shared value system with its coaching staff and its players. Not every single thing. I mean, there are things that may not be exactly succinct with what you want, but in general, you've got to have a shared value system of sacrifice and discipline and work ethic and selflessness and all those. You can lay a whole bunch of them out. And for Shelby, each time that we continue to mention that or try to create a higher standard, she met those. And so, for her, that's a hard position to be in when you get recruited with a certain class or a certain coaching staff and having to go through, because, what she's not saying is she's lost teammates who were friends, and will continue to be her friends. And I think, I'm not trying to speak for you, what you find out is what they wanted was really not what you wanted. They're just in a different place. And that's kind of what we found when we got here as a staff. And so you have to kind of push the envelope, so to speak. And as crazy as it sounds, a program that had no success for 10 years, actually to go backwards was part of this process, because we had to vet out kids who, it had nothing to do with their character. They just weren't 12-month SEC committed athletes. That's really what is required, because the league is relentless. It's ruthless. It takes no prisoners. If you are not dedicated to your craft, if you are not dedicated to staying fit most of the year, if you're a soccer player, if you're only playing 3 months out of the year, that is a recipe for losses. And so I came in and had to take over what was there, quickly had to just build a roster in year 2 because we didn't have enough to play. And this year, in 2015, is the year which really represents my first 2-year out process class. And, Shelby I can brag about him. She's a senior seeing him, and she can say, holy cow, that kid's really good. That kid's really good. Wow, that girl's really going to help us. I could never say that before. And we were lucky last year that we did hit on some kids in a short period of time as freshmen, and they got experience, and they're going to play. But, I mean, we played Memphis in an exhibition game, which is a top 50 program, picked to be second in the AAC. To me, it was a real game, even though it said exhibition. And I started 7 new starters, and most of them out of the position they played last year. Our back line, none of those kids played for us in opening day. And so, we went toe-to-toe with a team who has got experience and been there, and, really answered the call in a way that I thought was, okay, I can see what I believed in preseason now, building. We've got a little bit of momentum here. Now, you lose a lot of that if you don't come out and give a good performance this weekend. But I'm looking for good performances, because with good performances will come wins and losses. Okay? You get a bad performance, it's a loss. Good performance, Soccer's a cruel game. You can dominate like crazy, the goalkeeper on the other team, be great, or you miss your chances and you lose. That's part of the, in football, if you dominate, it'd be like dominating the field and fumbling it at the 1 yard line over and over again. That's the only way you're going to lose. Dominating our game, you can lose all the time. So if we just put in good performances, the W's will start stacking up on our side, and that's what I hope to achieve.
Coach, you touched on it briefly, a brand new back line in that exhibition game. How confident are you in your back line and also your personnel in goal?
Personnel in goal, I think we're in great shape. Last year, Tanya De Sosa was a late find for us. It took a while to get her in just because she was an international student. A few more hoops you have to jump through, and at that point, she didn't get here till after the season started. So she had missed 4 games right off the bat. When she got here, she probably wasn't in the best shape, got injured, and unfortunately she played too many games to get that year back. But her talent is unquestioned. She has experience with the French U19 national team. She makes saves that just a lot of goalkeepers cannot make. She's now been here for a year. Her grasp of the English language went from conversational to now really good, which is important for a goalkeeper. She looks good. Riley DeCrane got lots of reps last year and lots of game experience. So as a right now a number 2, she's got lots of game experience. So I would not have one worry about putting her in our game. The freshman goalkeeper was the goalkeeper that we had when we recruited this class as the future number 1 to come in as a freshman. So getting Tanya a year before her was a little bit was not the plan. It was just out of need. So all 3 are working hard and all 3 make saves. And I mean, if someone got hurt, I wouldn't even lose sleep about putting one of them in. We're in good shape. The back line. Ariana Holmes was a big get for us in the offseason. She's a transfer from Fresno State. She's from Southern California. She was the freshman player of the year at Fresno State in the Mountain West Conference, which in terms of mid-majors go, would probably be like the, just under in terms of athletic quality of the Big 5, so to speak, or 4. I don't even know what super conferences are anymore, but the Mountain West and AAC are right there, and to be a freshman player of the year said a lot. It brought some experience to our back line that was young, coming in as a junior, some maturity, and she got here in the spring, and really not knowing much about her personality, I cannot imagine our team without her, because she really brings a calmness, sense of humor, that is really great, and just a experience back there, presence. We had no presence before, and I don't think there's been any presence like this girl here at Mississippi State looking at past rosters. I mean, she can do a lot of things. She's a good soccer player. She's powerful. Her distribution over distance is great, and she can throw it in a mile, which is a big weapon in the women's game. And so far we've played 2 games, and we scored off of 3 throw-ins because she can throw it about 40 yards. I mean, so it's significant. The other 3 players is a work in progress. Courtney Robichaux is a freshman coming in from Louisiana. She was the attacking player of the year in Louisiana, but she's playing center back for us. And she has a lot of experience there with her club team, and she is a rocket ship. She is fast, good on the ball. And so her and Ari have kind of made up a good partnership so far. We've converted Hannah Smith, who played defensive midfield for us last year, to left back. That was just was a need we were going to have to figure out. And she stepped in and done well. And right now, right back is kind of a open competition right now. Kaylin Harmon played there against Memphis and was awesome. She's physical, fast, she's hard. That's what the game needed. But, we have other players that I think can step in there too. And depending on who we play, what type of game it's going to be, will probably kind of determine that position. If there's someone really physical that they have to match up with, Kaylin's our player. If we're going to have the ball more, we might need someone who's got more in terms of passing and service and stuff like that. So, in 2 games, I think they passed the test pretty well.